though, I got to tell you, in a vacuum, if Angel Reese or any other WNBA player wanted to do a Victoria Models photo shoot, walk the runway, make those extra dollars, I would not care.
Angel Reese believed her appearance on the Victoria's Secret runway would be a bold statement of confidence and empowerment, a symbol of her growth and transformation. Instead, it spiraled into a PR nightmare that caught even her most loyal fans off guard. The same athlete who once spoke out against being sexualized was now making headlines for walking in lingerie, and the internet wasn't about to let that contradiction go unnoticed.
Even if it is Angel Reese, I wouldn't give a damn. Except, in the case of Angel Reese, there is precedent that she felt like she was being sexualized, that she was a victim of something.
Within hours, social media exploded with clips, memes, and harsh criticism accusing Angel Reese of hypocrisy. What she intended as an empowering fashion statement quickly turned into a viral storm of backlash, mockery, and disbelief. Fans weren't just reacting to what she wore, they were questioning what it said about her authenticity, her image, and how quickly fame can unravel under the spotlight. And just when things couldn't get worse, the reaction from Bayou Barbie herself and comments from Sue Bird added even more fuel to the fire.
This is Angel. Let's make sure we have context here.
I've been attacked so many times. Death threats. I've been sexualized.
Meanwhile,
Big mama. Big mama. That big mama for real.
I've been death threats. I've been sexualized. She's been celebrated.
When Angel Reese stepped onto the Victoria's Secret runway, the cameras flashed like fireworks. This time, the crowd wasn't filled with basketball fans, but fashion photographers, influencers, and stunned spectators watching the LSU star turned WNBA player stride out in pink silk and lace. For a brief moment, it looked like a victory lap. She smiled, waved, and owned the spotlight with confidence, as if she'd just conquered another national stage. But before the applause could fade, the internet did what it always does. It dissected every frame, every pose, and every second of her performance.
But today, we're walking the one runway in our underwear. And again, if you want to walk the runway, I don't care. You might be like, well, Rhodes, Sophie Cunningham, and bikinis and blah. Sophie Cunningham's never come out and played the victim of anything. And if Angel Reese hadn't have done that, if she hadn't have played that victim card, I wouldn't give a rat's ass that she's doing this.
Within minutes, clips of Angel Reese's runway walk flooded TikTok, Instagram, and X, racking up millions of views and sparking an avalanche of reactions. At first, the response seemed positive. Many praised her for breaking barriers and celebrated the moment as a bold step for women in sports. Some even said she was redefining femininity in a league that constantly battles to balance image and athleticism. But the tone shifted quickly. Once ESPN and Bleacher Report reposted her walk, the comment sections turned hostile. Viewers began revisiting her old press conferences, those emotional moments where she demanded not to be sexualized and spoke about unfair treatment. Now, those very clips were resurfacing beside her lingerie runway footage, creating a brutal side-by-side comparison that painted her as a hypocrite and left her public image hanging by a thread.
But yeah, if you're going to be that big, that large of a hypocrite, you're going to get called out for it. Of course you are. I mean, honestly, I'm still trying to figure out why the guy that created the Me Bounce thing on TikTok isn't suing her over the Me Bounce thing.
The contrast was impossible to ignore. Fans who once stood by Angel Reese were now questioning her integrity, asking, didn't she just say she didn't want to be objectified? Others accused her of using victimhood as a publicity tool, flipping her narrative whenever it benefited her. The most viral comment captured the collective frustration perfectly. You can't say you're tired of being sexualized and then walk in your underwear for cameras. Pick a lane.
There she is, walking the runway in her drawers. There she is, in her drawers. Okay, so that was her, Victoria's Secrets, Victoria's Secretions right here.
What made the backlash even worse was how quickly it spread beyond basketball. Pop culture outlets picked it up, and talk shows began debating whether Angel Reese was being unfairly targeted or simply facing the fallout of her own contradictions. Suddenly, even people who had never watched a WNBA game were talking about her, not for her performance on the court, but for her appearance in lingerie. The hashtag Angel Reese Runway trended for hours, completely overshadowing her recent game highlights and sparking fierce debates about hypocrisy, empowerment, and the fine line between confidence and attention-seeking in modern sports.
You want to do tasteful modeling, that's up to you. But do not play the victim. Wasn't she the one whining because she felt the WNBA was, quote, sexualizing her? She said it when she was still in college. This is her coming out in college. Right there. That's at the LSU post-game presser where she wanted everybody to cry. I got tagged right here. Stop sexualizing me. Angel Reese, quote, stop sexualizing me. Also, Angel Reese walks in her underwear.
Meanwhile, former athletes and media personalities began to weigh in. Some came to Angel Reese's defense, arguing that she had every right to embrace her body and express confidence on her own terms. But others weren't as forgiving, pointing out that athletes can't demand respect one day and chase shock value the next without facing backlash. The consensus became clear. The moment Angel stepped onto that runway, she crossed a delicate line between empowerment and self-inflicted controversy. By the end of the night, the same confidence that carried her down the runway had turned into a wave of online humiliation. What was meant to elevate her brand now looked like a risky gamble, and it was only the beginning of the storm that followed.
I got a major problem. When people start playing the victim and then they go out and do something like this that is hypocritical as hell, yeah, you're going to get called out on it. You surely are. That comment, that statement from that presser will follow her forever as long as she tries to do and continues to do things like this.
As clips of Angel Reese's Victoria's Secret runway walk flooded social media, one theme dominated the conversation: hypocrisy. Viewers began resurfacing old interviews, college press conferences, and tweets where Angel had spoken about being sexualized by the media. In one viral clip from her LSU days, she looked straight into the camera and said, "Stop sexualizing me. I'm more than my body." That quote once defined her image and inspired her fanbase, symbolizing how female athletes deserved respect for their talent, not their looks. But now, that same clip was being paired with her Victoria's Secret footage, turning empowerment into irony. The backlash wasn't just from haters, it came from her own supporters. Fans who once defended her now felt betrayed, with one commenting, "We backed her when she said she was tired of being judged for her looks, but now she's doing exactly what she told us not to." Comment sections became a digital courtroom where every quote, tweet, and old video was used as evidence against her authenticity. The criticism grew sharper as people compared her to other WNBA players like Sophie Cunningham, Liz Cambage, and Skylar Diggins-Smith, who had modeled confidently but never played the victim. Fans argued that Angel's issue wasn't walking the runway, it was inconsistency. Sports commentators joined the debate. Some defended her evolution, while others called it career suicide. Even sports podcasts chimed in, with one host saying, "You can't have it both ways." Empowerment isn't a switch you flip for attention. Memes soon flooded timelines, mocking her contradictions with captions like, "Don't sexualize me," plastered over lingerie photos. Edits spliced her old interviews with runway clips, turning her words into a montage of irony. Every attempt she made to justify herself was met with screenshots and receipts from her past. For Angel, this wasn't just a bad PR week, it was a credibility crisis. Once praised for confidence, she was now branded as disingenuous. The issue wasn't modeling, it was hypocrisy, and in today's social media world, that kind of damage doesn't fade easily. By week's end, even her most loyal fans were questioning if Angel Reese truly believed in her own message, or if it had all become another performance for attention. To understand how things spiraled this far, you have to go back to her rise at LSU, where her fame wasn't just built on skill. It was fueled by emotion, controversy, and the story of being misunderstood. From the start, she positioned herself as a voice against double standards in women's sports, telling the world, "People have sexualized me, called me names, and said I don't belong." That message once made her a symbol of strength, but over time, it became a shield, something she used to deflect criticism. What began as empowerment slowly transformed into contradiction, and this runway controversy was the breaking point.